Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. We're going to dive into a story that feels a bit like a hidden gem. It's short, a little unusual, and it carries a surprisingly deep message. It's a story about taxes, a fish, and a coin. But really, it's about so much more. So, let's set the scene. Jesus and his disciples have just arrived in a town called Capernaum. This was a bustling place, right on the shore of the Sea of Galilee. It was familiar territory for them, almost like a home base. They're probably a bit tired from their travels, looking forward to some rest. As soon as they get into town, some men approach Peter. These aren't just any men. They're the collectors of the temple tax. This was a yearly fee that every Jewish man was expected to pay to support the temple in Jerusalem. It was a religious duty, a sign of their commitment. They come up to Peter, maybe a little pointedly, and asked, "Doesn't your teacher pay the temple tax?" Now, this is a loaded question. It's not just about money. They're essentially questioning Jesus' devotion, his standing within the community. Are you one of us? Does your leader follow the same rules we all do? It's a public test. Peter, probably wanting to defend his teacher, and maybe a little flustered, answers right away. Yes, of course he does. He doesn't even hesitate. In his mind, Jesus is the most righteous person he knows, so of course, he would pay what's required. So Peter heads to the house where they're staying, probably ready to tell Jesus about the encounter and figure out how to handle the payment. But before Peter can even say a word, Jesus speaks first. This happens a lot in the stories, where Jesus just knows what's on someone's heart or what just happened. He looks at Peter and asks him a question. It's a thoughtful one. "What do you think, Simon?" He uses Peter's given name, Simon, which often signals a more personal, teaching moment. From whom do the kings of the earth collect duty and taxes, from their own children or from others? Peter thinks about it for a second. It's a simple question with an obvious answer. Kings don't tax their own family, their own sons and daughters. They tax the people they rule over, their subjects. So Peter replies, "From others." Jesus nods. Then the children are exempt. Let's pause here for a moment and think about what Jesus is saying. He's making a powerful point. If earthly kings don't tax their own children, why would the King of Heaven, God himself, require a tax from his own son for his own house, the temple? Jesus is gently revealing his true identity to Peter. He is the Son of God. In the grand scheme of things, he is exempt. He is the very reason the temple exists in the first place. It's a quiet, profound moment of revelation between them. Peter must have felt a mix of awe and understanding wash over him. This wasn't about avoiding a small fee. It was about understanding who Jesus truly is. But then, Jesus does something that shows his incredible wisdom and grace. He says, "But so that we may not cause offense." He knows that even though they are technically exempt, refusing to pay would be misunderstood. It would cause a stir, create unnecessary conflict, and put a barrier between them and the very people they came to serve. It would become a distraction from their real mission. So, he chooses the path of peace, the path of humility. He decides to pay the tax. But how they get the money is where the story takes a truly memorable turn. They're fishermen, but their money pouch is probably empty. So Jesus doesn't just pull a coin from his pocket. He looks at Peter, the fisherman, and gives him a very specific instruction. "Go to the lake and throw out your line. Take the first fish you catch, open its mouth, and you will find a 4 drachma coin. Take it and give it to them for my tax and yours." Can you just imagine being Peter in that moment? He's just had this deep theological conversation about the Son of God. And now, he's being told to go fishing for money. It's bizarre. It's miraculous. It's so unexpected. Go catch a fish, and the exact amount of money we need for both of us will be waiting inside its mouth. Not just any fish, but the very first one you catch. The story doesn't describe Peter's reaction, but I can picture him walking to the shore of the Sea of Galilee, maybe shaking his head with a slight smile. He'd seen Jesus do incredible things: calm a storm, heal the sick, feed thousands with a few loaves and fish. So, as strange as this command was, he had every reason to trust it. His faith was built on a history of Jesus' faithfulness. So Peter grabs his fishing line, heads to the water's edge, and casts it in. And just as Jesus said, a fish bites. He reels it in. It's the first one. His heart is probably pounding a little. With a bit of hesitation, he opens the fish's mouth. And there it is. A shiny coin. A 4 drachma coin, the precise amount needed to pay the temple tax for 2 people. The story ends there. We don't see Peter go back to the tax collectors, but we know he did. He paid the tax for himself and for Jesus, using the money miraculously provided by God through one of his smallest creatures. So what do we take away from this short, strange little story? First, it's a beautiful lesson in freedom and responsibility. Jesus showed Peter that he was free from the obligation, but he chose to fulfill it out of love and consideration for others, to avoid being a stumbling block. Sometimes, it's more important to maintain peace and build bridges than to stand on our rights. It's a principle of choosing love over being right. Second, it's a powerful reminder of God's provision. When there was a need, God provided in the most creative and unexpected way, not through a wealthy donor or a stroke of luck, but through a fish. It teaches us that God's resources are limitless, and his solutions often lie far beyond our own imagination. When we face a need, we can trust that he has a way, even if it looks as unlikely as finding a coin in a fish's mouth. And finally, this story is a quiet, personal confirmation of who Jesus is. He is the Son of God, the King's Son, yet he walks among us with humility. He has authority over nature itself, yet he uses that power to gently teach a lesson and meet a simple, earthly need. It's a story that invites us to trust more, to love more, and to look for God's provision in the most unexpected places in our own lives. Thank you for listening today. I hope this story brought a little bit of wonder and encouragement to your heart. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. See you next time.